went through 8 months of physical rehabilitation. A year after that, I was diagnosed with epilepsy because of the scar tissue on my brain. And I have a slower processing speed because of my brain injury. A lot of the things that I wanted to do with my life as far as after high school, I couldn't do because of the damage to my brain. As of freshman year of high school, my plan was to go into the Marines. After my injury, I could no longer do that because with epilepsy, I was not accepted into the Marine Corps. The results didn't really sink in immediately. The injury happened right before summer, so as far as the implications to my learning, I didn't fully understand that until about 3 months afterwards. And then when I realized that I wasn't the same as before, I kind of went into a little bit of denial. Anyone that really noticed that I was different, I got really angry with, so I would push them away. So it seemed like the people that knew me best or really noticed the changes, I tried to avoid. So almost to try to convince myself that nothing was wrong. I think once I got over the denial and it finally started sinking in, the depression really started to sink in. I became really introverted and thought that I could solve the problems myself. I'd spend a lot of times, I'd go sit in a parking lot for a couple of hours and just try to think about things. I'd lie to people and say I was going somewhere, but really I was just spending time by myself. That eventually led to substance abuse. You start experimenting with alcohol, which you think is going to help, but it actually just makes you more depressed, which sends you into a further downward spiral. I really didn't cry from the injury. It took about 8 or 9 months before I actually cried after the injury. But when I finally did, it was a very extended period of crying because I had kept so much bottled up. I tried to just be this face of strength after my injury and just convince everyone that I was going to be fine when I knew inside that, I was just a step away from maybe ending everything. My parents did know that something was wrong. What they said was that they regretted not saying something to me sooner about the problems. And between me knowing and them knowing, we should have discussed it a lot sooner than we did. What surprised me the most through the whole process is how much time I could have saved in just getting help in the beginning. When I finally did get the help I needed, the progress that I made was so rapid that I just questioned why I hadn't gotten it earlier. And that's something that I don't regret not getting the help earlier because it's taught me a lot about the whole process of recovery and allowed me to assimilate with other people that may be in situations like that and offer them my opinion or my guidance for them to get help. To help myself, I've learned a lot more healthy coping mechanisms, whether it be self-meditation, just taking a time out if you're in a stressful situation, just pull yourself away from that situation and trying to get to the root of the problem, why you feel depressed, and maybe then changing your thoughts about that. The advice that I would give to nurses or doctors would just be to involve the person in their own process of recovery. If you try to maybe avoid the truth about the severity of the injury or how long it's going to take to recover, you know, someone might be thrown into that situation and then not be prepared for it and say, I'm not making any progress here. Is this even worth it? Whereas, if you know beforehand and they prepare you for what is to come, then you're a lot more ready for it and you want to participate in it. And really, a smile is worth 10 shots of morphine. I mean, a good attitude from nurses and doctors really, really does help. My advice to adolescents would be, first of all, wear a helmet. Secondly, don't be afraid to get help. It's normal. A lot of people need help, even if they're not going through a loss. So if you've had any loss, don't be afraid of getting help. Everyone needs it. I mean, that's what people are there for, to talk to. So